You may not feel anything right now, but your body may be giving you silent signals that your arteries are being compromised. And when that happens, the risk of a heart attack or stroke becomes real, and often fatal. Arteries are like internal highways where blood circulates, bringing oxygen and nutrients to every corner of our body. But when they are obstructed by fatty plaques and inflammation, this circulation is compromised, as if a road were full of holes or blockages. The problem? This blockage happens gradually, without causing immediate pain. That's why it's called the silent killer. According to the World Health Organization, cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death in the world. Each year, more than 17 million people die from these conditions, many of which could be prevented with healthier habits. What makes the problem even more alarming is that symptoms usually only appear when the condition is already advanced. In other words, when a person feels chest pain, excessive tiredness, or shortness of breath, the damage may already be done. The good news is that there is an effective way to act before the worst happens, and it starts on the plate. Food has the power to protect your arteries and prevent them from being blocked by dangerous plaques. By choosing carefully what you consume daily, you can reduce inflammation, control cholesterol levels, and give your heart the chance to function more easily and efficiently. But to understand how this is possible, you first need to know the mechanisms behind this process. What actually happens when you eat intelligently? Which natural compounds have the ability to clean your arteries from the inside and prevent a future heart attack? Behind every food, there is a chemical reaction in your body. And in the case of arteries, certain foods work as real cleaning agents. They help reduce the accumulation of fat on arterial walls, combat internal inflammation, and even stimulate the regeneration of blood vessels. To understand this effect, you need to imagine how a clogged artery forms. It all starts with small injuries to the inner lining of the vessels, generally caused by high blood pressure, high glucose, or excess toxins. From there, the body tries to repair this damage, but ends up accumulating cholesterol and inflammatory cells there, which creates the dreaded atheroma plaque. It is precisely at this point that food comes in as a weapon of defense. Foods rich in antioxidants, for example, help neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that damage arterial walls. Soluble fibers, such as those found in oats, capture bad cholesterol in the intestine and prevent it from reaching the bloodstream. Compounds such as omega-3 reduce triglyceride levels, while substances such as curcumin, present in turmeric, act as natural anti-inflammatories. On the other hand, there are foods that have the opposite effect. Ultra-processed foods, rich in refined sugars, trans fats, and preservatives, are a source of toxin accumulation and chronic inflammation. Over time, constant consumption of these products accelerates the process of arterial clogging, even in young and apparently healthy people. Therefore, knowing what goes into your body is a way of taking control of your cardiovascular health. Choosing a simple ingredient can be the difference between a heart that beats strong for decades or an unexpected heart attack. Now that you understand how certain foods can act directly on the arteries, it's time to get to know, one by one, the true protagonists of this natural protection. Now that you understand the impact of diet on artery health, let's get straight to the point. 7 powerful foods that science has already proven to be allies in preventing heart attacks and naturally cleaning blood vessels. These are affordable foods, simple to include in your routine, but with gigantic potential to transform your cardiovascular health. First on the list is oat. Rich in soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan, it has a direct effect on LDL cholesterol, known as bad cholesterol. Beta-glucan acts like a sponge in the intestine, absorbing excess cholesterol and preventing it from entering the bloodstream. Studies show that consuming around 3 g of beta-glucan per day can significantly reduce LDL levels. Oats are easy to include in your diet, whether for breakfast with fruit, as porridge, or even in bread and pancake recipes. Next, we have the avocado. Many people fear this fruit because it is high in calories, but what matters here is the quality of its fats. Avocado is a source of monounsaturated fats, which help increase HDL, good cholesterol, and reduce systemic inflammation. Additionally, it contains antioxidants such as lutein, which protects the heart and eyes. A piece of avocado at lunch or dinner, as a side dish or in the form of guacamole, can bring great benefits. The third food is fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, and tuna. They are rich in omega-3, an essential fatty acid that the body does not produce and which has proven anti-inflammatory effects. Omega-3 helps reduce triglycerides, stabilize blood pressure, and prevent the formation of clots that can clog arteries. Experts recommend consuming fish at least twice a week. If this is not possible, the use of omega-3 supplements may be considered under medical guidance. The fourth item on our list is extra virgin olive oil. It is more than just a spice. It is a true natural medicine. Rich in antioxidants, such as polyphenols and healthy fats, olive oil helps reduce inflammation, improve blood vessel elasticity, and control cholesterol. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine showed that diets rich in olive oil reduce the risk of cardiac events by up to 30%. Use it raw in salads, overcooked vegetables, or even as a substitute for butter. In fifth position comes the raw garlic. Yes, it has a strong flavor and can cause some discomfort on your breath, but its benefits are remarkable. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that stimulate the production of nitric oxide, a substance that relaxes vessels and improves blood circulation. Furthermore, it has a direct effect on reducing blood pressure and cholesterol. 1 clove of raw garlic a day, chopped and left to rest for 10 minutes before consumption, is enough to obtain its therapeutic effects. The sixth food is turmeric, also known as saffron. Its active ingredient, curcumin, has powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. It helps fight the oxidation of cholesterol in the arteries, one of the main factors in the formation of plaques. Turmeric can be used as a seasoning in rice, soups, scrambled eggs, or in the form of tea. Curcumin absorption improves when combined with black pepper and a source of healthy fat, such as olive oil. Finally, we have the red fruits, such as strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, and raspberry. These foods are rich in anthocyanins, natural pigments with strong antioxidant action, and polyphenols, which protect the endothelium, inner layer of arteries, improve circulation, and reduce blood pressure. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that regular consumption of red fruits is associated with a reduced risk of heart attack in women. These fruits can be consumed fresh, frozen, or in natural smoothies. Each of these 7 foods works through a different mechanism, but they all have the same goal: keeping your arteries clean, de-inflamed, and functioning well. And the best thing is that you don't need to radically change your diet. Just start including these items, one at a time, with consistency and balance. Knowing the right foods is just the first step. What really transforms health is consistency. And for that, practicality makes all the difference. There's no point knowing that turmeric is good for your arteries if it gets forgotten in the cupboard. The secret is to integrate these foods into your routine in a simple, light, and tasty way. Let's start with breakfast, which is an excellent opportunity to include 2 foods on our list: oats and berries. An oatmeal with strawberries or blueberries, naturally sweetened with banana, makes a powerful meal for the heart. If you prefer something cold, a smoothie with frozen berries, natural yogurt, and a spoonful of oats also does the job excellently. At lunch or dinner, extra virgin olive oil should be a constant presence. Using it as a salad dressing or overcooked vegetables is an easy way to increase your intake of antioxidants and healthy fats. For those who like hot dishes, a simple tip is to use turmeric as a seasoning in roasted vegetables, rice, or scrambled eggs. Always with a touch of black pepper and a drizzle of olive oil to improve the absorption of curcumin. Raw garlic can be added to homemade spreads, vinaigrettes, or even consumed plain if tolerable. An efficient trick is to crush a clove of garlic and let it rest for 10 minutes before using. This time allows the formation of allicin, the most potent active compound in garlic. And the avocado? It can be a nutritious afternoon snack or a side dish for dinner. Just slice it, season it with lemon and olive oil, or prepare a simple guacamole to eat with raw vegetables. Another possibility is to use it in smoothies with vegetable milk and fruits, which is also excellent for those who practice physical activity. As for fish rich in omega-3, the ideal is to include them at least twice a week. Grilled sardines, natural tuna, or roasted salmon are practical and affordable preparations. Those who do not consume fish frequently can talk to a healthcare professional about supplementing with good quality fish oil. The key is to adapt your choices to your reality. Instead of looking for fancy diets or instant solutions, start with what you have. Swap white bread for an oatmeal pancake recipe. Replace industrialized mayonnaise with natural pastes with garlic and olive oil. Add a pinch of turmeric to your daily meals. Over time, these simple gestures accumulate and generate a powerful effect. Cleaner arteries, a stronger heart, and a life with much more vitality. There is no point including healthy foods in your routine if, at the same time, you continue to frequently consume things that sabotage your cardiovascular health. Some foods have the power to inflame, overload, and damage blood vessels, favoring precisely what you want to avoid: clogging of the arteries. And the worst thing is that many of these villains are present in everyday choices, disguised as practicality or flavor. One of the main ones is refined sugar. It is not only found in obvious sweets such as cakes, soft drinks, and candies, but also in ready-made sauces, breakfast cereals, and even so-called fit products. Constant sugar consumption raises blood glucose levels, stimulates excessive insulin production, and generates chronic inflammation, the perfect breeding ground for fatty plaques to form in the arteries. Furthermore, it alters the lipid profile, reducing good cholesterol and increasing triglycerides. Another dangerous enemy are trans fats. Present in processed foods such as margarine, sandwich cookies, ice cream, snacks, and fast food fried foods, these artificial fats have a devastating effect on arterial health. They drastically increase LDL cholesterol and reduce HDL, causing the vessels to clog quickly. In several countries, the use of trans fat has already been banned or severely limited due to its toxicity. As processed meats, such as sausages, ham, salami, and bacon, also deserve attention. They are rich in sodium, chemical preservatives, and saturated fats that contribute to stiff arteries, raise blood pressure, and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Frequent consumption of these meats is directly related to a greater risk of heart attack and stroke, according to studies by the World Health Organization. And we cannot fail to mention the ultra-processed foods as a whole. These products, created in a laboratory to appear practical and tasty, have in common an extensive list of additives, colorings, flavor enhancers, as well as harmful sugars and fats. The effect on the body is cumulative: inflammation, insulin resistance, increased blood pressure, and, of course, progressive damage to the arteries. Avoiding these foods does not mean cutting out all the pleasures in life, but making more conscious choices. Whenever possible, prefer homemade preparations, fresh and natural foods. Swapping a sugary drink for water with lemon, replacing margarine with olive oil, or swapping a packaged snack for fruit with oats are simple actions, but with a big impact. The truth is that your arteries react daily to what you put on your plate. While natural foods have the power to heal and protect, ultra-processed foods, on the other hand, silently damage and shorten the path to your health. Throughout this content, you have seen that taking care of your cardiovascular health does not require fancy formulas, radical diets, or impossible changes. On the contrary, it starts with small daily choices, made with awareness and consistency. Your arteries, silent and discreet, reflect in the long term everything you consume today. Every food you include, or exclude, is a decision that shapes your future. 7 foods, all simple, accessible, and natural, have the power to keep your heart functioning with lightness, strength, and balance. Oats, avocado, fish rich in omega-3, extra virgin olive oil, garlic, turmeric, and red fruits are more than just ingredients. They are allies in your longevity. They act directly to combat inflammation, reduce cholesterol, and preserve the health of your arteries. And the best part, they do it without side effects, without contraindications, without needing a prescription. At the same time, you've learned that certain eating habits do exactly the opposite. Ultra-processed foods, rich in sugar, Trans fats and artificial additives accelerate the process of clogging the arteries, increase the risk of heart attack, and take years of life with a frequency that is often unnoticed. But now you know. Now you have the tools. What you do with this information is what will define the course of your health. Therefore, the final suggestion is clear. Start today. Don't wait for a scare to change. The heart doesn't scream, but when it fails, everything stops. So eat consciously, take care of your body with care, and make your daily choices an investment in a long quality life. If this content made sense to you, share it with those you love. Sometimes the right information arrives at the right time and saves lives. And if you want to continue receiving clear, accessible, and science-based guidance to take care of your health, subscribe and follow the next content. Because here, your health is a priority.